The Sacramento Kings, Chicago Bulls, and San Antonio Spurs have agreed to a three-way trade. The trade sends Demar Derozan to the Sacramento Kings, Harrison Barnes to the San Antonio Spurs, and Chris Duarte, 2 second-round picks, and cash to the Chicago Bulls. How do I feel about this trade? First of all, as a Spurs fan, I love this trade. I think this is a great move for the Spurs. They got Harrison Barnes, who's a solid veteran. I definitely think he's going to fit in really well with Victor in the sense that he's going to provide veteran leadership, something the Spurs lacked last year, along with Chris Paul. So that's great. Plus, he's a spot-up shooter. He can hit open threes. He shot a pretty good percentage from three for his career, around 37-38, I believe. He fits the system well with what the Spurs are going to run. So this was an A-plus move by the Spurs. Very solid move. I like it. Now, when I look at the Bulls, I feel that they just wanted to get rid of DeMar. And when it comes to DeMar, I've seen his game. I'm a Spurs fan. I saw him play in San Antonio during his stint. I'm going to try to be fair towards him and be objective as much as I can. Grant, I'm not a fan of DeMar. I just did not enjoy watching him when he played for the Spurs. Granted, I respect his professionalism in the sense of him suiting up for them and just playing hard, giving it his all while he was with the Spurs. But I have never really liked his game, to be honest. But here's what I'll say about his game. He is a great mid-range shooter. He is spot up great on the mid-range. He's a very good playmaker for his position. Just he knows how to get guys involved. Now, his weaknesses are he's not a good three-point shooter. Historically, he's not been good from there. And you look at his percentages, they're always pretty bad. Just for his career, he's 29. Just terrible three-point shooter, which unfortunately in this game, you do need to be at least for a perimeter player around, I would say 36, 37% from three. That's kind of like you need that. It's like mandatory unless you're going to shoot out of this world overall from the field. So that's one glaring weakness he has. The other one I would say is that his defense is just okay at best. He's just like average at best as a defender. I wouldn't say he's a great defender, but he's okay on the defensive end. Just decent, I would say. So that's another weakness. The third thing about DeMar I don't like is that he's very emotional. He throws a lot of temper tantrums when things don't go his way with the refs, his pouting. That to me is very off-putting. I just don't like that. That drove me nuts when I saw him do that when he was with the Spurs. So I wasn't a fan of any of those things, to be honest. Just that just irritated me when he was there. But when it comes to the Kings, he's not expected to be their main guy or even their second guy. They got De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis as their two top guns. He's going to be good, I believe, as a third guy on their team, just as a facilitator. I think that's what he's going to really add to them. Another guy who can be a playmaker and get a Sabonis easy buckets, get De'Aaron Fox easy buckets through his playmaking. But I do worry about his three-point shooting, just the ability for teams to leave him wide open from three and sag off on him, to double team De'Aaron or Sabonis and cheat off of him. I think that could be an issue, to be honest. And like I said, just his emotional volatility when he gets down, you can really see in his body language. I think that can really sour his teammates in a way, or frustrate them, or make them go to feel down about themselves, because it's a psychological thing. When you see one of your best players frustrated, it trickles down to the rest. So that's an issue. Now with adding him there, I definitely think it increases their chances of being a playoff team. I think getting him puts them in position to be somewhere probably 6 through 8 in the West. That's the way I look at it right now. I think they can definitely get in there. Last year, I think they barely missed the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. I want to look at what their record was last year. Let me just pull up their record. Yeah, they had a good record, 46-36. Normally in any other year, I feel that gets you in the playoffs. In most cases, they barely missed it. They finished 9th place. I think getting DeMar should put them over that hump and get them back in the playoffs. I'm going to be willing to say that with this move, they're going to take the Lakers spot. I had the Grizzlies getting back in there because of Ja being back, but they'll also be back in there. I think those two teams are just going to push the Lakers out of the playoffs. So that's what I expect. I think somewhere through 6 through 8 they can get there with DeMar, but I don't expect them to be in the elite echelon, I would say, of the West. Just I don't see them being a top 3, top 4 team, even with DeMar. But hey, it's a good move since they want to go to the playoffs. I'll say that, but don't expect much else from this move. I feel if you're a Kings fan.